Hello, this is Billy Fletcher again with Alliance Champions Training Center, and today we want to talk a little bit about. We've talked in the past about systems, and this year it's been something that's been in a process over really, I guess if I think about it, it's really been a number of years, but this year we kind of want to put it down to paper. It's really creating our own system for training. And over the years, 30 or so years that I've been actually working with people, training people, not to mention the years myself training, I've been a part of a lot of different programs, been affiliated with some different programs from back in the day when we were a super slow gym, doing mostly one-on-one training. We're one of the first CrossFit affiliates in South Carolina. I think the first in Greenville several years ago. More recently, we've been affiliated with Training for Warriors, which is another great affiliation. So from all these different, all these were systems, really, systems of training, which I learned a great deal from. Had some great mentors and coaches in those training systems. And a few years ago, several people had said, "Hey, why don't you come up with your own system?" Well, I was kind of hesitant to do that, partly because by nature I'm probably a little bit more of an introvert. I didn't really want to necessarily attach my specific name to those to a system, and to be honest, that's probably part of the reason. And other, I was always trying to learn, and so it felt like I could always learn more from other people, so I want to continue to do that. So, but after doing some thinking, I started thinking, well, I can continue to learn. I still am learning from other people, still researching, still reaching out to other people as well. But really to be able to create a system that I believe in, really, that we can utilize at our gym for training, but also to kind of get it out there to the people that they can really utilize the system or utilize the philosophy, whether you're our gym or not. And that's really what more of it is. It's kind of some guiding principles and a philosophy of training, as much as it is like a method of training. And so the name we came up with really to describe what it means is called Fit Flow. And Fit Flow, we've kind of used it it kind of serves two purposes. It kind of in general describes the system in that it's so it has a fitness component, obviously, and then also creating really a life of flow. That's another aspect. But actually, each letter within the Fit Flow system has meaning. So the F, the first is part of the Fit Flow program, it's just my name, Fletcher. And so the reason for that really, as I started thinking, is that really, it's the reason I use that is because it's my perspective. I think anybody who's been doing something for a long time, you're going to have a certain perspective, but also you have biases. And so I realize that. And so I'm not trying to say that my system is the best, or it certainly is perfect. It's not. It will continue to evolve, but as far as it is my system. It's really my thoughts, my ideas, a lot of which I've learned from other people. But it is my system. So that's where the Fletcher part comes in. The I is integrated. So we want it to be an integrated system. So in other words, it's not just about a physical training system. It's really just mind, body, and spirit. So we feel that we can, through our training, we can really integrate and incorporate things that really help people to build in all three of those areas, not just, just not the physical part, but also, like I said, the mental and spiritual part. And then the T is for training. And this is something I often joke with my clients about is, everything we do, we really have a purpose behind it. So it's training. I said you can come to the gym and work out, okay, or you can train. And training means, my perspective on that is that it has a purpose. Everything we do has a purpose. And then on the other side of that, really, even if you go and you're say you're using the physical aspect of it, if you go into the gym and working out, whether you're intending to train or not, you're training, but you may not be training necessarily what you want to train if you're not making a conscious, mindful effort towards achieving certain things. So, for instance, if you're using bad technique on an exercise, you're still training, but you're training your body in the wrong way, which can eventually lead to injury and certainly lead to plateaus in there as well. And then from the mental side of it, the same thing. If you can choose to try to train your mind in a positive way, or you can let somebody else possibly train it in a negative way. And I use the example, just for instance of like media, like the news, for instance. A lot of news that we listen to today is very negative. So if you let yourself get sucked in that, you're being fed a lot of negativity. If you're not aware of that, that can kind of take hold of you. But if you're aware and you can either kind of shut that out or try to go toward more positive sources, then you can train your brain in that way as well. So either way you're being trained, it's just which way you choose to be trained. So that's the fit part of it. The flow part, the second F is really for fundamentals. And that's what we try to always go back to. So not to try to make things too complicated, but go back to the fundamentals. So if we're looking at movement, we've talked about this in the past with movement, for fundamental movement, we've got basic movements. We've got a squat, a hinge, a push, and a pull. So you can keep it very simple. If you master those fundamental movements there, that's going to take you a long ways. That's in terms of just movement in itself. And then beyond that is other fundamentals are just, if I want to optimize my life, if I just work on, like I said, moving, but then also if I'm eating nutritiously, if I'm getting adequate sleep and rest, those are fundamental. So sometimes you don't need to do anything really extravagant. If you just focus on those fundamentals, that'll get you in the right direction, get you going in the right direction. And then the last two kind of tie together. So the L and the O is life optimization. And again, that's kind of my big goal is that our training system is really not just about the physical side, but it's really about helping you optimize your life, both in the gym and outside the gym. And that really, our system really is that's the kind of the broad aspect of it. And just to touch again a little bit on the name in general, Fit Flow, it was a big, kind of for me, a big aha moment for me is that when I started kind of reflecting on my own journey, so to speak, is that a lot of times I kind of prided myself on hard work pays off and embrace the grind. Sometimes we say embrace the suck, so to speak. All those things are I still believe in those things. You got to work hard. You got to push through. You got to be comfortable with uncomfortable, that sort of thing. But sometimes if you're just searching or seeking out those things, sometimes you miss the fact that really we can also create flow in our life. So everything doesn't have to be super hard. We can actually have a flow. And that's another aspect of what we really want to accomplish is make it like a game, make life like a game. Enjoy the process, because if you're just shooting for goals all the time, which is important to have goals, we talked about it in the past, but you're not enjoying the process or enjoying the scenery once you get to one of your goals, one to the mountain peaks, then you really are missing something. So that's kind of another big picture thing. And for me, it's been important trying to not just continue with my clients to push to the next goal, but make sure we're having fun getting there. Thank you.